Hey guys, welcome back to Project Broken Man. We just got our Fabtech rebuild kit for our seals in today. And it comes with no instructions or anything in the pack. It's literally just a pack of seals.
No stickers though.
No stickers, no swag. Well, that's kind of crappy.
You would think for $100.
Yeah. So the seal kit was $50 per seal kit. 2 of the
4.0
shocks, the 4.0 shocks. 2 kits, $100 we just spent. I know they could have put a couple of lousy stickers in there.
You would think that that would happen. I mean, you know, I would have these in my back glass in my truck. You know, like
I know,
I'd
you
wore
love
those
your
stickers proud.
We put them on the
my
computers.
laptop. Yeah, like not even a piece of paper saying "be careful" or
this is how you do it.
Maybe I'm just fussing for no reason, but I was so hoping
instructions would have been nice too, but I guess we'll be YouTubing it and I guess making a YouTube video so other people, when they have to rebuild their Fabtech.
Well, they have a whole thing online, like if you ship your coilovers in, prices and stuff like that. But I went a little deeper and was doing some researches and on some of the forums, and there was one guy in there that said, do not ship your stuff to these guys because they get them there and the next thing you know you're replacing so much it ends up costing way out the wazoo. You know, so I was like, well, you know what, I'm gonna do it yourselfer kind of guy anyway. Besides, I think this company is like in California, I think, or somewhere like that. I think
something, yeah, it's pretty far from us.
So
anyways,
it's a little too far for me to ship it to them, but the whole fact that the
there's the springs.
Yeah.
We just powder coated those, so they're looking
go
good.
Back in the powder coat, as you guys can tell.
Well, one didn't turn out shiny.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the Prism powder coat. I can't think of what we done different.
Other than it was hanging on the other side.
Yeah. But back to Fabtech or Dirtlogic or whatever. I don't even know how that company works. I mean, it's Fabtech shocks, I guess, with Dirtlogic spring setup, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I want to do some more research on it, but you would think, like I said, for $100 you would get at least a
sticker and an instruction sheet.
Yeah, I think I'm more
upset about the stickers.
Yeah,
I know you've built enough hydraulic cylinders and things like that. I don't have any doubt that you can figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Here they are. They're looking pretty rough right now. Obviously, they're not red. This is all powder coat. It's all over them. Now, the black is actually on there. The black that's on there is from, what's that paint called? The bedliner paint. They had put all over the springs, and so they just kind of painted the whole shock and everything all the way around. It was weird. And when we got them apart, the one shock actually is bad. The other one is working, but you know what? They're going on our truck. They're going to be there for a long time, so we're rebuilding them both.
One was leaking. Let's rephrase that. One was leaking fluid, and one had no fluid in it at all, like it had leaked all out. So we're going to break it down. We're going to go through for the first time and learn what it takes to regas them up, refill the liquids in them, and all that stuff. So that's going to be our main goal for today, or not today, but our main goal here sometime this week, for sure.
Because we want to get them on the truck. We need to get this lift done. We need to get this truck back underneath. We're like, rear end's almost done and ready to go back underneath.
Yeah, we actually able to get the what was that? The drop that we did today. We got the
drop
pitman arm done. We're building kind of shabby. We did it in the rain and tacking and welding up under the truck yesterday. And you can tell, I'm not making excuses for my welds, guys. It's just, it is what it is. Yeah,
but he went ahead and built that. It is a replacement for this part right here that holds your panhard bar.
Yeah, and I put an extra adjustment in it, which I do think right now I may have made it way too long. I stuck it into the truck. There's about 4 inches of travel between it and the
Steering arm?
Crosslink.
A crosslink?
Steering arms. I think that's what you call it, crosslink. So anyway, that is too close for my comfort. Of course, the truck's going to be lifted 6 inches, but we still don't know for sure what the clearance should be. And when I look at it, it doesn't look like it's going to really hit the crossover. It's just the way it's just unnerving to see it that close. So again, I'm probably going to cut this one off, that drilled hole, which is the second one that I've cut off. I actually sat down and when I drilled these plates, I drilled them in double, clamped them together, drilled them with my Weber.
Mag drill, which we love.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys don't like Weber or what have you, but I'm sold, especially when it comes to the mag drills. I think
best value for the money, hands down.
They should put badass before Weber when they're talking about their mag drills, because I'm very impressed with that.
Yeah, $200 and something comes with 8 bits.
Yeah.
The head for the regular drill bits.
And drills holes through 1/4 inch plate like.
Wait,
no
you
tomorrow.
doubled the 1/4 inch plate when you actually did those, so it was actually 1/2 inch plate.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it drilled right through them like no problem.
He had those stacked. I walked in, he was drilling the hole. I'm like, did you do those together? You're like, yep. I'm like, wow. So obviously that has cleanup and welding and powder coating and all that good stuff to do on that too. But you know, we're getting everything. We pretty much are getting almost all of our parts done and ready to get this lift done and get everything back under the truck and get the truck back under the camper, so we can get those mated. And
but before you jump too far ahead, we have to have the lift under the front of the truck because we're going to use the factory coil springs in the rear. On the on the front rear end. So the rear steer axle that we bought for the truck, we have to go through and put the factory coil springs on the back. And the reason for that is because the factory coil springs are a lot shorter and a lot smaller in diameter, but still very strong. And I have limited operating room. What I done is where the these rear
trailing arms.
Yeah, rear trailing arms made up to the now the rear end, which you guys can see we've done. They mount up right here. And what I've done is I'm building a platform for the coil to come up right inside of where the dually rear tire is going to make its turn. So it's a little tight fit. It's not real super tight or anything like that. I'm not really worried about anything. I got plenty of clearance on both sides of these of the turning radius, so I can get full bump out of a set of 40s, no problem, with about 2.5 inches of clearance.
Yeah, our drive shaft fits perfect next to them. Everything really worked out really good on those.
So our drive shaft is going to run at an angle, guys, but I want you guys to realize something. It's not that big of a difference. It's about it's between 7 and 10 inches offset. So if you guys think about that, it's really not that bad versus the drop that it has coming down. I think the one that's coming, you know, when your drive shaft drops from the frame of the truck or from the transmission up in the frame, coming down to the rear housing and flexing, it, you know, they get quite a bit of rake and degree. And I know this one is going to be sitting always over here, so you're going to have more wear. You're going to have more, well, just more wear, more torque pressure or whatever on that rear.
We are going to do the CV ones though, right?
But we're going to put CV CV joints in place of the regular U-joints. Now I know a lot of guys go, oh man, you're going to be going through drive shafts, you're going to be this, that. Well, we'll see, because you see these axles right here that's coming out into the steering. Now when you turn this thing full bump either direction, you can see these things are at a real tight angle. Now I know everybody's not running around in 4-wheel drive all the time, but there's a lot of all-wheel drive cars that are non-stop making sharp turns, driving. Front wheel drive cars that are always making sharp turns and driving. And yes, they wear out at 100,000 miles or even less, some of them. It's according to how you treat your car. But some of them will go 200, 250,000 miles. And we are using this truck as an adventure truck. We're going to have costs and breakdowns just like anybody else. And for what we wanted and what we could afford to build, this was our option. So if we get a couple 100,000 miles out of this rear end and I put back some money, then I might build me another rear steer with the axle dead center. Or I might build something to where it's got an offset, because I'm wanting to do a transmission doubler and some other things, and it would be very easy to offset another doubler to where we could have this same rear end.
Well, and we really want those other axles, the military ones.
That, if you look at the Dana 80 rear end, the actual one that came with this front end out from under the same 2006 truck, you'll see the axle tubes are way smaller around than these. These are huge axle tubes that's in this compared to, I mean, those look like babies out there.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah, I know they do.
There's gotta be at least 3/8 to a half inch in diameter difference. And I'm being easy with it. It might be more.
Yeah, this Super 60 was huge. I couldn't believe it when we got it. I thought it was the rear end, actually, when we went and picked them up. I thought the other one was the front end, because this one was so much more massive.
Yeah, and the cool part about this is, yeah, I know, like I said, the axles, we're going to run the 1550 axles in here from the 2016 trucks. So those are going in when we're finished welding this rear end up. We're not running these. These are actually going to be taken out, serviced, and we're going to carry an extra pair with us at all times. So we have them from the front or the rear end. But if you guys look, and I don't want you to look close because you'll see my gaps I've got to fill. But if you guys look, I've built a truss system that goes all the way around the bottom and the top of this. When it's all welded out and finished, it's going to be very strong as far as, you know, both of our C channels or whatever they call them, the C clips on the end, C whatever hell they call them. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be super strong. You know, as far as breakage goes, I've never seen one of the actual hub parts that goes on the end of the C's ever broken. On rock bouncers, you name it. Of course, I've not lived it and, you know, done that.
You will be, baby.
I know. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, yeah. You just don't hear about it. So as far as everything else on this thing, when we're all done, this is going to be super strong. It's going to be tough, and we are learning as we go. We're building an overlander that we can take out cross country. We can stay off-road. We're not trying to get super fast. We're not trying to break any records. I mean, other than
not doing any crazy stunts. It's not about going and finding the craziest place to crawl.
This is about to go wheeling and get crazy and break stuff. You know, we're just going.
What he's doing is back there. I'm going to show you guys. This is the back panel. It kind of fell out when he moved it because we haven't got it tacked in or anything. He's got to finish doing the weld out.
Yeah,
so to give you an idea, that's the panel that we built for the back of it. Obviously, it kind of fell out, so it's got to get put back in right. Oh, there it goes. It's starting to fall in now. Yeah, give you a little preview of what that truss is looking like. And I know it's extremely big. We know it's heavy. And
well, we
like the weight on that bottom because we have a big house on top of this.
Yeah, we've added about 100 pounds to this axle, maybe 150 when we're done. We're actually adding some bracing that goes in behind this panel to each of these tubes, and they're going to come out and attach to this skid plate and also protection plate for the rear steer. We're going to move the rear steer up eventually. Right now, we can't afford it. So we work with what we can. So we literally got enough money to be able to put the 1550 axles in it, all new seals, everything else. We're going to run 430 gearing in this thing, which I think is fine for now. So there's a lot of money that goes into these axles. Everybody knows that. We're just not putting the money into certain things at this moment that we just don't need. So this is going to get framed out, guys. We're going to cut this back.
You got 23 seconds, baby, so I think it's time to say goodnight.
All right, good night, guys. Like I said.
If you like us, hit like, hit subscribe,
Or if
give
you're
us
just
some
curious,
comments.
even if you don't like us.
Yeah, keep watching, though. We got a lot of great stuff coming up, a lot of crazy projects, and eventually our videos will get better, I promise.
Yeah. Thanks and have a great night.
Good night.